Good morning, football fans. Welcome to the explainer for the most action-packed day of the 2026 FIFA World Cup so far. Today, Saturday, June 13th, the tournament absolutely kicks into high gear with 4 massive matchups spanning the United States and Canada. We're coming to you live from Fox Sports Stage B in Los Angeles, which is literally the most advanced broadcast environment in sports history. We've got a massive LED volume with over 48 million individual elements bringing you closer to the pitch than ever before. I'm joined by our lead studio analyst and National Soccer Hall of Famer Alexi Lawless, who is covering his 9th consecutive World Cup alongside 2-time FIFA Player of the Year Carly Lloyd. And let me tell you, today's slate is an absolute gauntlet. To really set the stage for what makes today so crucial, listen to what Alexi Lawless had to say. He hit the nail on the head. Today isn't just about survival, it's about establishing an identity in the world's longest World Cup format. This perfectly captures what this expanded tournament is all about, right? With 48 teams for the very first time, we're seeing more styles clashing, more mismatches, and honestly, way more tactical variation than we've ever seen before.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our rundown for the broadcast. First up, Matchday 3 North America. Then we'll zoom in on Qatar versus Switzerland. After that, we'll hit the tactics behind the Swiss wall, followed by lineups and betting picks, and finally rounding out the rest of Matchday 3.
Section 1. Matchday 3, North America. Just look at this chronological gauntlet we're running today. We are spanning an entire continent. We kick things off on the West Coast at 3 p.m. Eastern in the San Francisco Bay Area with Qatar taking on Switzerland. From there, we fly across the country to the bright lights of New York and New Jersey at 6 p.m. Eastern for the heavyweight bout of the group stage, Brazil and Morocco. Then it's up to Boston at 9 p.m. for a historic first-time meeting between Haiti and Scotland. And we finish the whole shebang under the roof in Vancouver at midnight Eastern as Australia goes head-to-head with Turkey. It's going to be incredible.
Section 2. Qatar versus Switzerland.
Qatar's players look to be in pretty high spirits during their training session in San Jose, California. But make no mistake, the pressure on these guys is immense. The reigning Asian giants are absolutely desperate to erase the debacle of 2022, where you'll remember they hosted the tournament and exited without a single point. Since then, they've actually had a perfect qualifying run, but today is where they have to prove they truly belong on the global stage.
So we have this fascinating dynamic. On one side, Qatar, seeking redemption and trying to establish global credibility. And on the other side, Switzerland, a team that is the absolute definition of European solidity. Frame this in your mind. It's a monumental task for the Qatari side, because they are facing an incredibly rigid and disciplined Swiss team that simply does not give away cheap chances.
Section 3. Tactics, the Swiss wall. Let's channel Carly and Alexi here and get into some deep tactical insights. 0.33. That is a staggering statistic. It's the number of goals Switzerland conceded per match during their entire European qualification campaign, a defensive record only bettered by England. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what Qatar is up against. The Swiss are basically a brick wall. The secret to that defensive dominance is a tactical concept known as controlled pressing. Basically, this means pressing in targeted ways after poor touches or backward passes, rather than just constantly running around chasing the ball all over the pitch. The Swiss don't need to exhaust themselves chasing the game. They're going to sit in a highly organized block, stay incredibly patient, and just wait for a Qatari error in distribution to spring their trap.
Now, contrast that Swiss discipline with Qatar's recent attacking struggles. Qatar's offense rests heavily on the shoulders of Almoez Ali and Akram Afif. While they've been prolific against regional opponents, translating that against the top-tier European defense is a whole different ballgame. In fact, Qatar completely failed to score in their recent friendlies against Ireland and El Salvador. Historically, they've really struggled to break down elite structured defenses like the one they'll see today.
Section 4. Lineups and betting picks. Let's mirror the strategy hub and get you some actionable insights.
Both teams are expected to line up in a balanced 4-3-3 formation. For Qatar, Barsham is in goal, Kuki anchors the defense, and the attack relies on Afif and Almoez Ali up top. But the real story is the Swiss midfield. Keep a close eye on Granit Xhaka. He's eyeing a national appearance record today. And flanked by Freuler and Rieder, Xhaka's ability to dictate the tempo and orchestrate that controlled press is going to be absolutely crucial for neutralizing Qatar.
So how do the experts see this playing out? Well, the Action Network consensus leans heavily toward a Swiss clean sheet. The top pick here is Qatar under 0.5 goals at -163. Given that Swiss defensive wall we just analyzed and Qatar's recent scoring droughts, the data strongly suggests Qatar is going to have a highly frustrating afternoon trying to find the back of the net in California.
Section 5. Rounding out Match Day 3. Let's move smoothly through the rest of the evening slate.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the Opta win probability for our 6 p.m. Eastern heavyweight bout between Brazil and Morocco. They give Brazil a 57.7% chance of winning compared to Morocco's 18.8%. But honestly, do not sleep on the Atlas Lions. Morocco were the great disruptors of the 2022 World Cup, knocking out Spain and Portugal. Plus, under Carlo Ancelotti, Brazil has actually shown some surprising defensive vulnerabilities, keeping clean sheets in only 33% of their CONMEBOL qualifiers. If you're looking for actionable insights for the rest of the evening, here are the top slate picks from Action Network. For Brazil versus Morocco, they love Brahim Diaz as an anytime goal scorer at plus 500, given his blistering pace on the counter against that vulnerable Brazilian defense. Because of that, they're also taking both teams to score at minus 105. For the 9 p.m. game, they like Scotland on the Asian handicap, -1 at minus 118. And for the midnight cap, Turkey over 1.5 goals at plus 83 looks fantastic against an Australian side that might really struggle with Turkey's dynamic attackers.
We've looked at the tactics, the lineups, and the data. Now the talking stops and the football begins. So who will establish their identity and survive today's gauntlet in the world's longest World Cup format? Will Qatar finally find redemption, or will the Swiss wall hold firm? Can Morocco stun Brazil again? Enjoy the matches, everyone.